Now this here, a lot of the hands you pick up are going to be small hands. More than half the time, they're going to be small. Small hand rule, we start with a maximum number of points. We think of the crib as an extension of the hand. So here, if I keep the 2 6s and the 2 1, how many do I have?
4 plus 2 in the crib.
And here, I got 6. Can I get 6 out of these cards any other way?
No.
The truth is, even though you folks, or maybe not in this class, but a lot of folks I see do this. On small hands, if you give up 2 points to begin with, start with 4, yeah, it's open on both ends. Once in a great while you hit it and say, oh boy, good. Now, there might be a place on the board where you just absolutely need 14. But as if you play this hand this way on 100 deals, you'll get a lot more combined scores between the hand and the crib. See the 4 and the 2. Now here's another one of those, although this hand works either way because there is a potential of 12 here. What do we got? 2 4s, a 1, a 5, a 10, and a queen. There is a difference. If you've got the Lynn Culver's books, he shows the 10 queen, the 10 king, the 5 10, the 5 king, and the 5 queen all as exactly the same average. That's not true. They're not the same average. In fact, they're kind of close, but not close enough. And if you think about how people discard, you'll understand exactly how these fall. And of course, I don't have a jack here, but the 5 jack is way above the 5 10 queen or king. And then these fall in this order: 5 king, 5 10, 5 queen. Why do you suppose the queen is the furthest down?
Well, it has to have a jack or a 5 to help it.
People are less likely to throw you the queen. They're more likely to throw you the king or 10 or both of them. So the 5 king and the 5 10 have a higher average than does the 5 queen. So in this hand here, yeah, we want to get that 5 in the crib, but we want to get it there with the card that has the best chance of scoring. And that's the 5 10. And you see here we're starting with 8 points.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to throw that 5 10 in your opponent crib.
Well, we ain't there yet.
Oh.
Tonight we're going to get there, but right now we're still last week. So who are we discarding to last week? Yeah, me. My deal, my crib. I'm not going to give you these cards, no. In fact, I've got entirely different way to play this hand if it's your crib. But we're not ready to go there yet. Now remember the discards. This is a hand. In fact, this hand was featured today on Cribbage Hand of the Day. I made quite a few comments about it. And because there were a number of people on there that, I don't want to put a queen 9 in my crib, so I got to put an 8 9 in my crib.
Not for 4
No.
points, I don't.
How many are you giving up, and it isn't even a good discard to begin with? Why, even though you might think this is a pretty good discard, this discard doesn't even show up on page 1. Why doesn't it?
Your opponent's not going to throw 7 if he can.
Yeah, it takes a 7. And they're going to give you the king 6, the 10 6, the jack 6, the queen 6, the king 8, the queen 8, the jack 8, king 9, queen 9. They're going to have to run out of a whole lot of cards before you ever get a 7. So, might give you a 10 and you get a 3-card run in there. King 10 makes 3 out of this a lot. But no, you just throw, and this is true half of the time. You can't give up on this hand. There's no discard here. No discard here that's here. So that's the key. If you don't have these combinations, you can't give up nothing. You just dump the Queen 9. Garbage discard. But you got good hand potential. You got good pegging potential. You got nice pegging cards, and you got good scoring potential in your hand, and garbage in your crib. When you put it, you figure if you get 2, you're lucky. You're not figuring on the crib. You're holding for the hand. And about half the time you pick up your cards, that's how it'll be. About half the time, you're just going to throw the 2 that don't work. But if you keep these in mind, and the amount you can give up to toss them, it'll make decisions for you on a lot of hands very easy. You'll see the patterns, and it just up. In fact, one of the reasons I teach these classes, people sometimes say, how can you play the game when you got all this in your mind? I don't have none of it in my mind. It's automatic. See, it's through some simple rules. This is a pretty simple rule. There's 91 discards I could make to my own crib. If these are the only ones you know, and you have some idea of what their value is, you're way up on the average cribbage player. The average cribbage player could not tell you what the value of these were. The other thing as a dealer, you know. Anytime you're holding a deuce tray in your hand and it's only worth 2 points, you've done something wrong, unless you threw a 7-8 or a 7-7. And there's few hands where that rule doesn't work. But as a rule, if you're keeping the deuce tray in your hand for 2 points, it ought to be in the crib. There are a few hands you can look at, and most of the time you've held them wrong on your deal. If you're holding a 1, 2, 3, 4, or a 2, 3, 4, 5, most of the time you made a mistake. What is the time when you wouldn't make a mistake to hold 1, 2, 3, 4, or 2, 3, 4, 5?
If it's a flush?
Could be a flush. That could be one. I wasn't thinking of a flush. And in these cards here, I didn't include the possibility of a flush, although you should be looking for that. With a 1, 2, 3, 4, or a 2, 3, 4, 5, you better have put a 7-8, a 7-7, or an 8-8 to your crib.
One thing about those hands, especially a 1, 2, 3, 4, doesn't that, regardless of what comes up on the turn up, you're going to score more points?
Well, yeah, but that's not necessarily the way you want to look at it, because the truth is a 2, 3, 4, 9 is worth 5. 2, 3, 4, 8 is worth 5. 2, 3, 4, 6 is worth 5. So to keep 4 for the sake of keeping 4 isn't productive. But if you're holding those 4, it should ring in your brain that, hey, I put 7-7, 7-8, or 8-8 to my crib. If you did that, you did exactly right. But if you threw a face card off of that, or any other combination, it's not right. Either the face card 5 or the 2-3 should be in the crib, unless you had 2 middle cards, 7-7, 7-8, 8-8. Of course, if you had 6-9, it wouldn't work that way. Okay. Any questions? We're going to get started here on discarding your opponent's crib.